These are the participants in the Tata Steel Masters section, the A group. Levin Aronian from Armenia, Karl Nakamura from the United States, Fabiano Caruana representing Italy, Boris Gelfand from Israel, Sergei Karyakin representing Russia, Leonard Dominguez from Cuba, Anis Giri, the Netherlands, Wesley So, the Philippines, Nadic from Germany, Pantala Hari Krishna from India, Richard Rapport from Hungary, and Luke Van Wheelie, who I met once and got his autograph, is from the Netherlands. Average rating 2743, category 20. Great tournament. Don't miss any of the action. Hi folks, John Cordisco back. Got another great chess video for you. This is from round 3 of one of my favorite tournaments. The Tata Steel chess tournament currently being played in the Netherlands. This is the 76th edition. That's a long time. White is my buddy, Karl Nakamura from the United States, rated 2789. I believe he's like 2792 or so now. And Boris Gelfand, former world championship challenger from Israel, as black. Let's get to it. It's a long game. It's going to be a Tamenov Sicilian. Knight f3. Nakamura is white. Gelfand is black. c5, c4. Knight c6. Knight c3. Knight f6. d4. Pawn takes. Knight takes. e6. Kind of guarding these key squares here. Here and here are very, very good squares to have control over. e4, bishop, knight takes, pawn takes, bishop d3, of course guarding the e4 pawn, because once bishop takes, this pawn is unguarded. e5, seems like a loss of tempo, but Boris Gelfand's a world-class theoretician and opening, so I'm sure that's not. Castle, castle, bishop g5. h6 chasing the bishop, bishop back to h4, bishop to c5. Seems like a loss of tempo as well, but I don't think it is, because it forces the king to h1. d6, opening up space for the light squared bishop to come out. f3, reinforcing the e4 square, plus stopping the bishop or knight from coming here. Bishop e6, queen c2, rook b8, rook a to d1. Going a little bit fast. This is a fairly long game. Bishop to d4. That's a strong bishop right there, I'll tell you. b3 to reinforce the c4 pawn for Nakamura. And Gelfand goes g5, which really surprises me. He's opening his pawns right in front of his king. To whatever it's worth department, I have my Fritz 13 computer on off screen. It shows a tiny advantage for black. If Gelfand gone queen to e7 instead, queen to c1, bishop to e7, knight to e2 would be a good continuation. After g5, bishop to f2, c5. Now this d6 pawn is going to be backward. We're going to see if that's going to be a problem or not. Knight to b5, queen d7, g4, king, queen to d2, knight to g8, bishop g3. It looks like this position is going to close up here. In fact, it is closed. I got to honestly say, the light squared bishops, this one for white is horrendous. It's a large pawn. You hear that a lot here. A bad bishop is guarding a very strong pawn. But this bishop here, he's got the run of the board, at least for now. f6, b4, knight to e7, knight takes, c takes. If he had taken instead, B takes, D takes, bishop takes rook, you lose the exchange. E5, bishop takes queen E1. And white's sitting well there. Black's got a pawn for the exchange, but not good. This E5 pawn would be miserable to try to defend. After C takes D4, B5, get some room on the queen side, maybe expand a little bit, get some room for your pieces. Rook F to C8, rook to C1, rook to C5, just to blockade the C pawn, plus he'll maybe want to double up on the C file. Rook to C2. After Nakamura played rook to C2, I'm looking at the position here. My computer here off screen shows about a point advantage for black. I'm not real thrilled. I think Nakamura might have misplayed this one. I'm not sure where. Maybe on the C file. I'm not really sure where he went wrong. His dark squared bishop is pretty miserable right now. Well, at least he can get out eventually, but his light squared bishop is just the worst. After knight to C8, now we're going to start putting a lot of power on the C file. And that was the computer that did that. It's showing that black is ganging up on the C4 pawn. Pretty funny. Queen E2 to help reinforce the C4 pawn. Rook B to C8. If he went knight to A4, bishop to E1. After rook to C8, bishop to E1, then knight to A4. They just reverse the order. Bishop hits the rook. Rook backs up to C7. King to G2. I think he's going to need the king up there to guard some of those pawns in case Gelfand tries to push the H pawn, which he did, H5. And then Nakamura won H3. Rook to H8. Now we're going to see. Maybe he's changing his mind. He's going to bring his rooks over the king side. Rook to H1 for Nakamura. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. Nakamura drops back the other rook. Queen C7. Because we know if as soon as black takes here, white's got to retake, so he's going to need the reinforcement of the other rook. Queen to C2 to guard up on the C4 pawn. If he loses that, he's in a lot of trouble. Knight to B6, hitting the pawn again. Bishop A5. At least he's pinning the knight this time. Interesting might have been C5, and after D takes, queen takes. I don't like it, to be honest with you, because that loose D pawn for black is going to be incredibly dangerous. After bishop A5, queen, bishop takes the knight, A takes B6. Now material is dead even, but, and that's a big but, Nakamura's almost down about 2 points in score, so not good. Queen to B3, H takes, rook takes, king takes. If rook had taken, bishop takes C4, and that's pretty much it for white, because this rook now is not here. King takes, D5, E takes, B takes, king to G2. Got to bring that king up to guard that pawn on F3. Rook to H8. Now Nakamura's down right now about almost just a little bit less than 2 points in score. And rook to F1 is the move considered by the computer for black. I don't know if I'd leave the defense of the C4 pawn, but I guess he's trying to get his rook active. He went queen to B1. And immediately went down. But I don't understand this because it's got bishop takes check, which Gelfand missed. And after king takes, pawn checks. And I think white's in a world of hurt. Bishop f7. I don't know why Gelfand didn't take the pawn on f3. If a bishop takes, king takes, e4 check, king g2, rook h4, bishop takes, rook to e5, and white is doomed. Gelfand went bishop f4, excuse me, f7. Nakamura dodges a bullet on that one. Rook to h1, rook takes, queen takes, bishop g6, bishop takes, king takes, queen h5 check, king to g7. Now the white king's out in the open, but there's no protection for the pawns over here. We're going to see what happens. Queen to e8. Nakamura's coming in with a queen. Going to try some sort of perpetual, being that the escape squares for the king are guarded by his pawn. Queen takes a4, queen checks, king g3, queen c7. Of course, queen to c6, and we all see that when queen takes, pawn takes, this pawn will queen. There's nothing black can do to stop it, so of course you can't take. Queen to d8, a5, bishop takes, b6, d3, queen checks, take, push the pawn, queen. They both get their queens back. White's down 2 pawns, but he's not down much in score. Queen to c7 check, king h6. If he had gone g6, queen takes a5, queen to d4. I can't stand these queen pawn endings. They are so complicated. My word. Queen to e7. That was the move. Now that's a tough move to find. You're down by 2 pawns. You'd think you want to take the a pawn, but Nakamura is a world-class player. He went queen to e7. Now he's attacking this pawn. Is going to cause perpetual for a draw. Queen to g1 check, king to h3. And the computer bears it out. It was a draw, 0.00. Nakamura dodges a bullet on this one. He miscued earlier in the game. I'm not sure where he went wrong. I know he made that mistake earlier that Gelfand didn't see. Luckily for Nakamura. Gelfand's a little off this tournament. He lost the first 2 rounds, and he drew this game. Anyway, it's good to be lucky sometimes. And Nakamura, like I said, dodged a bullet. So that's it for today's video. Round 3 of the 76th Tata Steel Chess Tournament. I hope you enjoyed it. Go Naka. I hope he can pull this off. I'm rooting for him. This is his chance to get 2,800 too. We'll see. Anyway, folks, I want you to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I hope to see all of you in the next video. And I want to thank all my many new subscribers. Thank you. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.